How we doing today? Hope we're having an awesome one. We're enjoying the best of the best that we can. Awesome. So today is another beautiful day. And as we go on, I want you to do something for me, for us, for every single one of persons that you're going to be inviting. So right about now, I want you to just click the share button or possibly just copy the share link, the streaming link, and share it with somebody out there. Invite as many people that you can as fast as possible. Why? It's as simple as this. If we can think better, we'll be able to do better. And imagine 200 million Nigerians, 200 million plus Nigerians, Africans, the world at large, able to think right. Think about the ripple effect. So do me a favor, do us a favor, do the world a great favor by sharing this right now with somebody out there that needs to hear this information to help them understand that there is no limit and they can go beyond the ordinary. So let me know, where are you joining us from? Right now, I'm in the city of Lagos, Nigeria, and we're able to have some people from US, from South Africa, from UK yesterday, and Nigeria definitely, Zimbabwe as well. But where are you joining us from? Some people from Cyprus as well, not Cyprus, but where are you joining us from today? Let's hear from you, all right? Let's hear from you. Drop it in the comment section, in the chat section, and let us know where you are joining us from, okay? So while we do that, I'm going to allow the music to play, and we'll see your response and definitely come back so that we can kickstart. But don't forget, share this with somebody out there as we go full time in the throttle as we fly high this morning, afternoon, evening, depending on where you're joining in from. All right. So don't forget, share this right now. And if you've not subscribed, subscribe and what? Click the notification setting and allow it so that you can get notified even for the third day, which is coming up tomorrow. Okay, so invite somebody and let's go on this ride. Okay, so while we do that, Kaduna, Nigeria, Lagos City, I look forward to seeing you Israel Sunday. All right, so let's get it on. Let's get it on. And as we do that, I'm going to be what? Allowing the music to play, and we can all get in the mood as we get started. Hey, okay, all right. So let's continue. I can see some people all the way from Yola. Okay, if they can call, that's definitely my second state in Nigeria in a way. All right, I can see you joining from North Cyprus. Hello, Kingsley Unwaham. I hope I pronounced your name properly. Pardon me. I can see Damilola Odela de Abuja, Nigeria. Great to have you on the webinar, on the conference today. All right, so as we continue today, I want you to understand that the first day was an awesome section, and today we are going to be diving in fully. But let me make you understand what the I Thrive conference is about. Now, first off, when we started the first edition, it was out of a mandate, and we are still in the mandate to help people build the right mindset for productivity all through all spheres of life. And that is what the motto of what DM Academy is. All right, that is our motto, to help people build the right mindset for productivity in all spheres of life. And if you are here today, it's because you want to develop yourself in one aspect or multiple aspects of your life, right? So think about it. If you can think better in your finance, you can think better in your relationship, you can think better in your education, you can think better in investment and the likes, what will that do for you? All right. And the first edition, which was last year, we looked into building your mind, and it was awesome. Building the mind, and it was awesome. But right now, you've built your mind at a way, or like say, in a way. But right now, do you still have some limiting beliefs that is holding you back? Yesterday was an awesome one for the first section. The first day we look into the first one, which is what building a thriving mindset, and we're looking into aligning with your purpose. All right, with your purpose, which was done by Roderick from Belgium, and also Ify from the United States, and it was an awesome one. So today we're going to be continuing on the set of it, and we already have our guest in the house. So let me just admit him and let him be in the house with us. And that is no other person by the name Komi Marvin. All right. What I want you to understand is that this section is going to push you in understanding leadership. But before I bring our guest speaker on, I'm going to be reading his profile for you to understand who he is and what he's going to be having for us today. So while we wait for that, I want you to get prepared, get your note, get your pad, either hard copy, all right, like a piece of paper and a pen, or you want to type on your phone as fast as possible, but make sure you write something down, because I believe that this information is for you. All right. But let me share a little story with you guys today. All right. I'm already seeing our awesome speaker here, but let me share a little story with you. 2020, first edition, I never believed that this can be possible. And when it was saying, okay, a global conference, virtual conference that people can connect from anywhere in the world, I was like, is it possible? But let me tell you, the main aim of anything that God tells you to do is to also break some limiting belief. All right. Imagine people had to travel for 40 years for something they could have traveled for 40 days, and it's all because of their mind. So please, when we say no limitation and we are building your mind, it's not just a cliche, it's something that we want you to do. Because whatever you cannot believe cannot be materialized. It's as simple as that. Whatever you cannot believe, you cannot imagine. All right, it's more like the word imagination. Imagine a nation. All right, crafting out a nation, crafting out something from the mind and bringing it to reality. I learned in the world I've been over the past, let me just say, 8 years of intentional living, that before you can build something, that you have to build it twice. First of all, in your mind, and secondly, in your physical hand. So whatever your mind cannot really conceive and believe, it can never, ever bring to reality. Whatever your mind cannot conceive, you cannot even like phantom. So you have to make sure that there is no limitation up here. All right, there is no limitation up here. So when you believe it, that is when you can get better. And so I want to put in the action to now build the things that you want to see in reality. When I'm saying building, I'm talking about maybe your relationship. I'm talking about your finance. I'm talking about your relationship, your finance, your family, your career, whatever goals you have for you. Listen, this is not me trying to aspire to retire you. No, this is me telling you the things that works in this real life. I Thrive Conference is a result of no limitation, despite everything that could have held us back, despite everything. But look into your life. Ask yourself, what are the limitations holding me back today? Be intentional about it. Like in my life right now, what are the things that are holding me back? Don't forget, yesterday we talked about purpose. So you must have learned something about what you ought to become. What does God want you to do? Prior to that, we discussed about building a thriving mindset. By you to have learned about that there is no limitation, you have the mind, and that is by feeding on the right information and crossing into understanding purpose. What does God want me to do? Now, today we are crossing into that. Now, learning about how to lead. All right, leading a thriving lifestyle. All right, so that is what we're going to be doing today. So right about now, I'm going to be bringing up our guest for today, and I hope we all are ready for him. All right, I hope we all are ready for him. So right about now, I'm going to be sharing my screen to bring to you the guest for today. And who is the guest for today? Today we are having Marvin. All right, Komi Marvin. All right, Komi Marvin Nenubari is a young man who believes leadership has more to do with self-discovery than just leading people. That's powerful. All right, leadership has more to do with self-discovery than just leading people. He's an engineer by profession, all right, with colleague actually, all right, and often refers to as the minister of growth because of his visible passion for personal development, leadership, and nation building. Mr. Marvin is the founder and team leader of 360 Leadership Network, an organization stirring up young people into natural excellence, and it was founded in 2017. He's also the founder and pioneer president of the Christian Fellowship of Engineering Students, CFES. Marvin is the convener of the Unmute Yourself live series and podcast session. Super powerful. I've been digesting and eating out of that, all right, figuratively, eating out of that so that you can really understand what I'm saying. It's like you have to eat the right food for your body to look awesome. So you have to eat the right food for your mind to also function right. So Marvin has a mission to create, shape, and raise a tribe of responsible-minded gems who in turn transform others. All right. So Mr. Marvin is going to be teaching us today on leading with no limits. And that is what I want you to do today. Learn from him, take as much as possible, and do me a favor. If you have any question at all, type them in the chat and I will make it available to Mr. Marvin as he's teaching, and he's going to be responding to those questions. So please don't hold back anything. Ask all the questions you need to know, because when you know better, you do better. So good evening, Mr. Marvin. Great to have you on the call on the second day of iThrive Conference 2021.
Hello.
Powerful, powerful. Great to have you here. I can see you. I can't hear you now though. Your mic is still muted.
Oh, sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, loud and clear.
That's great. So how are you doing, sir?
Super great.
Wow. So.
How is not Cyprus?
Oh, not Cyprus. As usual, you know the system.
All right, we're in the summer, right? This is exactly. The summer, so the weather is pretty. I'm very sure you're already going for some swimming.
You should trust me on that, bro. I am.
All right, I already introduced you to some extent, and I couldn't definitely add everything that is your profile. But can you tell us what I've not mentioned that you know that people need to know about you before we even go into the topic of today, leading with no limits?
Okay, thank you so much. Firstly, let me start by appreciating you for this privilege and just putting up this event, because
you're welcome.
Yeah, it takes so much to do this. You know what people see is all it's out there, but they don't know the backstage, what happens backstage to make things like this possible. So I want to appreciate you and thank you for your consistency and all you do to make things like this possible. And I also want to thank you for bringing me, this is like your altar, it's like your pulpit. So before a pastor invites another pastor to his pulpit, there must be some track record that they have checked through before you do that. So of course, thank you for bringing me to your pulpit, to your altar today.
You're welcome, sir.
Yeah, I'm grateful. So you basically said everything about me. I'm grateful to God for my life, and that is who I am. I'm Komi Marvin Enobari. I'm a public speaker, a leader, a personal development and leadership coach. That's basically who I am. So you've done justice to that.
Awesome. And something really stuck to me, which was the last line. I don't want to share it again, but I say teaching others so that they can teach others. All right. Paraphrase. All right, yeah. So guys. Something was taught to us yesterday about purpose. Your purpose is not just about you. If it's not to influence others, to help others, you have to check it again. It's not just for your own benefit. iThrive Conference is not just for my own benefit. It's to help others. Unmute yourself is not just for Mr. Coleman. It's to help others. So start thinking in that perspective as well, in your life, in your business, your relationship. All right, relationship as itself is when I'm talking about family. It's not for you. It's for your family, your wife. So think from that perspective. So I'm going to allow the floor right now for Mr. Komi to take it on and take us away. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you so much. And thank you all our viewers. I can see people joining from all over the world. I think I saw India, Abuja, saw different places that you joined in from. And I'm so happy and so glad that you were able to connect with us. So I'll be taking us on a journey that is very, very interesting, and I'd like us to pay attention, close attention to all that we'll be doing here today. I'm trying to see if I can set up my other computer. I would like to share my screen at some point. Okay, so you're welcome today, and it's going to be an awesome time. I tell you, we have so much to do. Like our topic today is leading with no limits. Leading with no limits. If you must do anything that will, okay, thank you. I'm trying to join with another device so I can share my screen. Sorry about that. I'm sorry for the bit of distraction. Just trying to connect with another device. So I have a bit something for us to do. So am I permitted to join with another device? Sorry.
Of course you are. You are. All right.
Okay.
So I just allowed you in right now. So I'm going to unpin you so that you can share your screen and as well talk at the same time.
Yeah, thank you for saying that.
But the only thing is that we have to mute the other device so that there's no echo.
Sure. I won't even okay, sure, it's muted.
All right, so you are in already.
Oh,
you just left.
It went out again. Sorry. Sorry for that.
All right, let's do that again. Yeah, that's fine.
We are so sorry, guys. Please, I'm just trying to set up this so we can flow with. I have one or two things to share with us through the screen. So
we cannot wait. We cannot wait to receive it.
Sure.
All right, so you are in,
yeah.
sir.
Yeah, got it. So I'm in now. Yes, I'm in now. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah. So talking about leading with no limits. Leading with no limits. Okay. So it is expected of us to live a life with no limit. That is the very intention of our creator, of God, our creator, that we should live a life with no limits. We should lead with no limits. We should express ourselves in the best of it. We should do the very things that our destiny desires of us and exactly what He has created us for. He said, we talked about purpose yesterday. Bringing out your purpose and living the life, a purpose-driven life, is a life with no limit. And that is what God expects from us. That is what our Creator expects from us. The moment you're living below that standard, it is not allowed. Can I use a technical word or a word that you're bringing disgrace, if that's a proper word to use, to your Creator if you're living a life of limit. He expects you to express yourself in the very best way that you should, because He created you without any limit. But the thing here that it is left in your hands to lead yourself. That is where leadership comes in. You have to lead yourself into a limitless life, into a life of total expression, into a life that the very best in you comes out, that everything that is yearning inside of you is being expressed to humanity, that humanity, just like our host said, gets the best out of you, because you are not meant to live for yourself. When he said that, I was so hooked up, because that is the basis of living a limitless life. The moment you have this, the sense, and you have the knowledge that I am meant to do what? To be a blessing to others. That is the beginning of your journey to live a life without limits. The moment you know that, yes, I was not born for myself alone, but I am born to be a blessing to do what, or I was born to be a blessing to the world and everyone around me. So that is the beginning of living a limitless life. Before we start, I would just like us to, there's a little game I've prepared, and I'd like us to participate in. I don't know how possible that this can be, Our host, please, can you come back online?
All right, all right, I'm with you.
Okay, yeah, can you see this game? Yeah, because
of course I can.
yes, because leading a life without limits will have you many times to do something that this game is trying to show us, or this illustration is trying to show us. And I would like us, wherever we are, though it's not interactive because I can't see you, but you can do that in the confines of your home or wherever you are right now. I would like you to connect these dots with 4 unbroken lines. So we have 9 dots there. I'd like you to connect them all with 4 unbroken lines. 4 unbroken lines. Draw the dots in a notebook or notepad, whatever you have by your side there, and connect them with 4 unbroken lines. 4 unbroken lines. I'd like you to do that. Yeah. 4 unbroken lines, everybody. 4 unbroken lines. Yeah. Okay. So, okay.
You can use the annotation, right?
Is that?
I think you can make use of the annotation.
Yeah, sure, I can. I already have my answers prepared, so no problem.
All right.
Yes.
All right.
I already have my answers. I came prepared.
I came prepared. Awesome.
Yeah. So you have to connect these dots with 4 unbroken lines, because living a life without limits, we have us do what I'm about to say next, and I'm sure we have done that. So I'm just going to move on to what the answer should be. So this is what the answer should be, and I'm sure maybe 1 or 2 persons may have gotten it, or even our host should get it. So that is it. That is it. Did you get it, sir?
Oh, okay, mine was the other way around.
Oh, the other way around.
It's more as if you turn it 180 degree.
Oh, I get. You're an engineer.
All the way down, all the way to the side, all the way down, and all the way up.
Yeah, you're an engineer, so I'm sure you should. So what am I saying? This actually made us to think outside the box. I'm sure when so many places I've made this, I've brought this out, and so many persons were not able to get it because they decided to stay in the confines. They drew their lines in the confines of what of the dots. No, you have to actually think outside the box before you can connect these dots together. So that is just to check our IQ and to let us know that for you to live a life without limits, sometimes you need to step out of what has been the normal. Because one thing that I see that limits a lot of persons is culture and the place, the systems that has formed you so far that you've grown up. One of the things that limits the minds of persons and limits their ability. So for you to express your best self and bring out everything that God has deposited in you, you must many times, I repeat, think outside the box and step out of what's the normal has been. We'll talk more on that as we move on today. So we're talking about leading a life of no limits. And like he read in my bio, saying very, 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 very clearly that I believe that leadership has a lot to do with self-discovery than leading people. Leadership is not just, when you mention leadership in my home country, Nigeria, or in Africa, what comes to the minds of people is people like Obasanjo, President Obasanjo, Atiku Abubakar, and several of them in your home country. You could think about that. Those were past presidents of Nigeria. But that is not what leadership is. Leadership has a lot to do with what? Self-discovery than leading people. And when we talk about leading a life of no limit, it talks about you being intentional about your life. You being able to move your life from point A to point B. Because everything rises and falls on leadership, as John Maxwell will always happy to say. Everything rises and falls on leadership. You are where you are today because of how far you've led your life. And you will be where you will be in the next 10 years because of how far and how good or how not good that you will live your life. So wherever you are today is a function of the leadership and how far you've been able to guide and direct, because that's basically what leadership is, the ability to how far you've been able to guide and direct yourself, how far you've been able to take the decisions, the life decisions you've taken, the steps you've taken, the clarity you've gotten so far is the product of where you are today. And where you will be in the next 10 to 5 years is also a product of the decisions you will take. So leadership is very important. Leadership is not just about governance, because that's when you hear the word leadership, that's what comes to the minds of people. No, leadership has a lot to do with you yourself. How far have you been able to lead yourself? The decisions you take, that's part of leadership. The steps you decide to take, the places you go to, the books you read, the people you listen to, all those are products of your leadership. And the direction they lead you, those informations you get, lead you in life. These are now the results of your personal leadership. So you must decide to lead yourself in the right direction that will yield the results that you have for yourself. And I want you to know that everybody is a leader. Everybody. I know there's a big debate that talks about where leaders born or leaders are made. I believe leaders are born to be made. I'm going to repeat that again. Leaders are born to be made. So everybody is a leader. As you are here, you're watching me, wherever you're watching from, you are a leader. Because when God creates seeds, and right in that seed is the ability to become a tree. So you have the potential to become a leader. You have the potential to lead yourself in every direction you've chosen. With every inspiration, we talked about purpose. So when you have a clear purpose for your life, you have a defined purpose, then you have the ability to lead yourself. It is now your responsibility to lead yourself in the area of that your purpose. So now we are going to look at what are those things that limit people? What are those things that places a limit on lives from becoming the best that they should be, from expressing their best self? Just like our host talked about when he had a vision of this powerful event that we're having today. There are so many factors that would have stopped him. When whoever you see there's a high flyer today, it's not as if they didn't have challenges. It's not as if they didn't have hurdles. There are so many things that would have stopped them, but they decided to press beyond the limits. They decided to not to be ignorant of the devices of the enemy, like the Bible would say. And they decided to press beyond the limits, to cancel the limits and move beyond them. Everybody, I want to tell you, whoever you see and you admire today that are doing well in different industries that you have the ambition to be in today, they are where they are today because of their personal leadership and the ability to press beyond limits. Everybody has challenges at one point in time or the other. That God has given you a purpose and you know your purpose, you discovered your purpose. That does not mean there will be an easy ride. No, there are challenges here and there that wants to stop you. But you must decide to press beyond limits. We are going to take time to look at what are the limits. What are those things that places a limit on the lives of people and reduces their capacity? So when we talk about limit is anything that places an impediment on you and reduces your capacity to express your best self. In this context, that is what limit is. Whatever places an impediment on you and reduces your capacity, hinders your capacity to express your best self. That deep down in you, you have this yearning. You know that this is what I can do. When you see people doing it, there is a stirring in your heart. There is a stirring in your spirit. You can't rest. I like using example in the Bible, like when the mother of Jesus and John the Baptist met, the Bible says that the baby in their stomach started kicking. There is this yearning, there's this joy when you see someone doing the things you can do. You know you can do this thing. But what is that thing that is now placing the limit on you? What is now stopping you from doing it? I've been in that circle for quite some number of years when I knew I saw the things I could do. But I didn't have the privilege to do it. It's not as if the privilege was not there, but I just found myself not being able to do it. But I know I can do this thing. So that is what the limit is. And we are going to talk about, because when you know what you are not to do, then what you are to do comes naturally to you. So now we are going to know, what are those limits? What are those things that places a limit on our potential and our capacity to express our best self? Because that is what I Thrive Conference is about, that you will thrive in every area of your life, that the limits will be knocked out of your life, and the very best in you will be expressed. I'm going to share my screen again on something else now, and I want to show us. And I would like you to drop in the comment section if you can see what I am saying, that is being shared on the screen. You can see. Yeah. So that is you said?
Yeah, as in we can see that.
Oh, thank you so much. Yes. So you can see what's on the screen. That's the limit. See, the picture says something, sometimes the thing that is your head. So you can see a limit. This is a horse. And we know how powerful a horse is. In the animal kingdom, we know the power of a horse. In fact, to tell you how powerful a horse is, machines are being measured with what? With horsepower. So you talk about the engines of ships and cars and generators are being measured with what? Horsepower. To tell you how powerful a horse is. But you can see it being tied to a plastic chair. Not even an iron chair or a wooden chair. But the most lightest of the chairs we can even talk about is a plastic chair, and it's being tied, and you can see it just standing there and thinking that it has been what? Beaten. What do you think will happen if this horse just sneezes? Can someone tell me in the comment section on YouTube? What will happen if this horse happens to sneeze? Just sneeze. Just sneeze. What will happen? What do you think will happen? What do you think will happen? And I would like you to just think about it. What do you think will happen? You can ask to sneeze. Just sneeze. Oh. Just sneeze. Say we shift the chair. The chair will not just shift, but the chair will do what? Will fly. The chair will fly. If the horse just a sneeze from the horse, the chair will fly, because the horse is a powerful being, very, very powerful. But it has limited himself, thinking that the chair is what? Is a stronghold, because he knows that whenever a cord is being tied to the neck, that whatever they fix it to is always stronger than himself. So that has placed a limit on the mind, not knowing that thing that it thinks can hold him down. He actually has the ability to overcome it. And that is what has happened to so many persons for so many years. And that is why this conference is here, to break out that limit. Those things that seems to be a limit. Thank you so much. The chair will be blown away. Those things that seems to be a limit to you, at the end of this conference, you receive a lot of information to step out there, because there is nothing to be afraid of. I tell you, there is nothing to be afraid of. There is no template anywhere. Nobody should tell you, hey, this is no. Everything you see operating on in the world today are all functions of the human brain. It is human beings that sat down to develop the systems in the world today. The governance system, democracy, and all the system, communism that the world is living by today, we are all developed by the human brain. Everything. And there's what we call disruption. So you can come to disrupt the system and bring up a fresh idea from a perspective nobody have ever seen before. So nobody should limit you and tell you this thing you want to do cannot be accepted. This is the norm. No, there are what we call disruptions. And the time to act is now. Now is the time. You don't have, I always say, people that knows me know, I say you don't have 600 years to be here on earth. You don't have 600 days to hear. The time to start living your best life is now. You don't have two lives. So why would you allow limits to hold you down? Why would you allow what people will say? There are some people, their own challenge is just what people will say. If I start doing this, if I start doing that, what will these people say? No. How will you allow what another human being will say? Someone else that is living his own best life to limit you from expressing yourself. You don't have two lives to live. This is the life you have on earth. And God has given you the gift of time to be alive. So why not live and express the very you know you can do? This is the time for you to express it to the world. Express it to the world. Maybe some of people say, I've tried to express it, but those around me are not appreciating. Maybe those around you are not those that are meant to appreciate what is inside of you or the capacity you have. There are those that are meant to appreciate. And the more you start bringing it out, the more it will attract the eyes that are necessary to see it. The same way the giftings of Joseph was meant for the eyes of Pharaoh, a story from the Holy Bible, that is the same way that there is an eye that is meant to appreciate the giftings you have. And all you need to do is just keep doing it. Just keep doing it. And when the eye sees it, you appreciate it. I'm a testimony of that. I'm telling you, the little of which I've expressed myself, I've seen people I never believed have interest in the things I'm doing and have helped me incredibly, and are still giving out to help me. So what am I saying? You have to step out. There is no limit. Nothing has the ability to hold you down. We're going to look at what are those things that has placed an impediment on the lives of people. Number one here I have is ignorance. Ignorance. This is one of the major factors of limits in the life of people. Ignorance. And what is ignorance? Ignorance is basically what you don't know and you've not applied, and that means it has not produced a result in your life. So that is ignorance. Ignorance have held down so many. And like the Holy Bible says, that my people perish for lack of knowledge. Yeah, my people perish for lack of knowledge. And it's very true. They perish for lack of knowledge because you can't give what you don't have. You can't give. No matter how you are so compassionate to help. What you don't have, you can't give. You don't even know. And that is what ignorance does. So ignorance is the first and the number one. That is why you must fight against ignorance in your life. You must go for knowledge. You must go for development. You must seek to know what you need to know. Do away with ignorance. We live in amazing times. I always say these are one of the amazing times to be alive, because whatever you seek to know, all you need is just the ability and a heart to learn. You will get the knowledge. We have the internet, an amazing resource. There is nothing you seek to know that you can't know. If it's not just directly as a result online, you will see people. You will have ability to meet people online that we have the knowledge to teach you what you need to know. So ignorance is one thing you must fight in your life. You must ensure that you are not ignorant, especially when it has to do in the area of your purpose, in the area of your gifting, the area of your destiny, the things that your destiny and your purpose requires. You must discipline yourself to seek knowledge, seek knowledge, seek knowledge. Can I see you put it in the comment section? I will seek knowledge. I will seek knowledge. Knowledge. I will seek knowledge. Put it there. Put it there. I will seek knowledge. Yes, you must seek knowledge. You must seek knowledge. That is the only way you can break out of limit, because it is an automatic limit on its own. Ignorance is an automatic limit. You don't know. So what will you do? So there are stages of ignorance. I'm just going to look at it as fast as possible. And we all know the internet, the social media is one of the places people exhibit a lot of ignorance. You see people saying a lot of things they don't even know. They just come to people's comment sections and just start blabbing. So the internet, the social media, is a space where you see people just dish out their ignorance to the whole world to know that they are ignorant about specific things. So there are classes of ignorance, and I'm just going to list them and then we'll move on. Number one is what you know, believe, but you've not applied. That's the class of ignorance. What you know it, you believe it, but you've not applied. And don't forget, I said ignorance is anything that ends in not producing a result. So what you know, you believe, but you've not applied, it will not produce a result to you. So you know you believe it, but you don't apply it. So there will be no result. That means anybody sees you, they know you're ignorant in that area, because the necessary results that has to come with the knowledge of that thing is not produced in your life. So it means you're ignorant about it. And there's another level of ignorance that has to do with what you know, but you don't believe. And the moment you don't believe it, you won't apply it. So you know it, you are aware. That's the knowledge there. The knowledge there means aware. So you are aware of it, but you don't believe it. It has not become a conviction in you. You don't believe it. So that is still ignorance. What you know, but you don't believe. It is ignorance. And another class of it is what you don't know at all. That's the father of all ignorance. Or is the brother. So what you don't know at all, that's another level of ignorance. And you must fight against ignorance, because what you don't know is bigger than you, they say. What you don't know is bigger than you. You must seek knowledge. So there's another class of ignorance, what you don't know at all. You are not even aware of it. That is strong ignorance. And there's another class of ignorance that's even more stubborn, which is what you have refused to know. So this one is not as if knowledge is not available to you, but you have refused, you have told yourself, I don't want to know it. So you refuse to know. The knowledge is available for your taking, for your grasp, but you've refused to know out of lack of interest, out of carelessness, or lack of taking responsibility. Because when we talk about leading a life without limit, you have to take responsibility. It all banks on responsibility. Leadership is a game of responsibility. That is where it all starts from. You can get all the knowledge from our Thrive conference. Everything, amazing speakers come to inspire you and give you the tips of success and whatever. But if you refuse to take responsibility, there is no way the results will be visible in your life. So responsibility, if it's people from Yoruba tribe, they will say it's the koko. Responsibility is the koko. That is the main thing. Responsibility. Even the Holy Scripture says, do not just be hearers of the words, but perpetual doers. The power is in the doing. The change is in the doing. It is when you act that you begin to see results. I want you to put it in the comment section now. Say, I take responsibility. I take responsibility. Put it right there in the comment section. Say, I take responsibility. I decide to take responsibility, because that is one of the ways to cross and break your limits. Say, I decide to take responsibility. Put it there in the comment section. I decide to take responsibility. There is power in affirmations. When you say these things, it comes to pass. You have to say it. You have to affirm. I decide. I take responsibility for my life, because you have to take responsibility to move yourself from one destination to the other. Responsibility is involved. So for you to lead a life without limit, you must take responsibility. So another thing, the second thing that places a limit on lives, that reduces the productivity and the efficiency and the results that comes from people's life, is what? Is limiting beliefs. Limiting beliefs. When you have limiting beliefs, it stops you from expressing your best self. When you have limiting beliefs, and there's a lot of persons that have these limiting beliefs about themselves. Limiting beliefs. It is very, very bad. It talks about when you have ill belief about yourself and the situations around you. You just have complex issues, background issues. You just bring yourself down automatically, because you think you're not good enough. You have limiting beliefs. You're just limiting yourself. You look at your background and you allow your background to put your back on the ground, as it's always said. So these are limiting beliefs. It stops you from exposing and bringing out the best in you. And you must break these limiting beliefs. You must rise above them. The world we live in today has magnified these things. But if you must be among the very few percentage of high flyers in this world, if you must be among the very few percentage of those that are excelling in their careers and excelling in their purpose and their destiny, you must rise above limiting beliefs. You must not allow them bring you down. You must decide to push away complex issues, push away background issues, tribal nepotism and all that. You must push them away and decide to express your best self. Like I said, you don't have 600 years to be here on earth. So the little you have, what are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? That to bring out the best in you. You need to know that all these limits do not exist. They don't exist. The people you see excelling today, they were faced with all these challenges, but they knew that it's just an illusion. And in that knowing, they moved their life forward. So you must know that all this does not exist. Limiting beliefs, you must move ahead of it and decide to express your very, 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 very best self. So moving ahead, another thing, I'm just going to take some time to talk about this because it's very, very important that we know what, because something that places a great limit on so many persons. And can I say, okay, it was the limiting belief that have specifics to do about Africa. A lot of persons in Africa have that trouble with limiting lack of value. It limits so greatly. And when I'm talking about value, I'm not talking about values. I'm talking about value, which talks about capacity, lack of values. And that brings us to personal development and creativity. It's also placed a great limit what you don't have. And for you to break certain limits, you must be filled yourself. You must have what to offer to the world. And that's what grants you the ability to break the limit. So lack of value automatically places a limit on your life that's beyond what you can imagine. So you must intentionally invest in yourself. You must become a person of value. That is when it helps you glide over so many limits automatically. You must decide to be a person of value. Invest in yourself. It is said, and I always say that people don't invest in themselves because they don't see themselves to be a profitable venture. Because before you invest in real estate, you must have done your analysis and see that it will give you your return of investment. So when people don't see themselves to be a profitable venture, you look at yourself and say, what interest will I hit? Why will I spend $500 to take this course to invest in myself? I beg, it's not for me. Because you see yourself not to be a profitable venture. You see a book you're supposed to buy. You say, how will I spend $250 to buy this book? Let me use the money to go and buy food and eat. And you eat, you eat your destiny, as they always say. You eat your next level. So you have to invest in yourself. See yourself to be profitable. You are a profitable venture. You must increase your value. Value automatically makes you glide over so many limits, automatically, without even touching anything. The moment you have value, people will seek for you. The people in the world will celebrate and will run after today is because they added value to themselves. They have made themselves valuable, so you must seek for them. That is it. So your value determines your value. The value in you determines how much people will seek after you and how much you represent to the society. So you must intentionally invest in yourself. Personal development. You must decide to be creative. You must decide to do what? To invest in yourself and expand your knowledge bank, expand your mind, add value to yourself. In that way, automatically you've already flew above a lot of what? A lot of limits. And I said lack of value is the very reason why so many persons are down today in our society, in our world. in wherever in their sectors is the very reason why so many persons are down, because they lack value. And when you lack value, life automatically stratas you to where you belong. But the more your value increases, the more higher you go. The more your value increases, the more higher you go. So lack of value is the reason why you see so many persons down today in life, down. It's as if there's this hold, there's this pressing down on them because there is no value. They've not increased themselves. So you must intentionally increase yourself. And lack of value is also why you see so many persons that were up come down. So lack of value does not just affect those that want to thrive. No, even those that are up there, that are doing very well, the moment their values start dropping, the moment they stop investing in themselves, they do what? They start coming down. It's a very, very natural law. The moment they stop investing in themselves, they find themselves gliding down gradually. So you must invest in yourself to rise, and you must keep investing in yourself to remain up. So for you to cross limits and break limits out of your life, you must invest in yourself. Invest in yourself. I want you to put it in the comment section. I will invest in myself. I will invest in myself. I will invest in myself. Don't look at those around you to be your benchmark. No. If you must be a high flyer, there must be someone doing higher than where you are. That must be your mark. And even beyond. So don't look at those around you to be, no. You must think higher. So put it in the comment section. I will invest in myself. Thank you. I can see you writing it. I will invest in myself. It's part of taking responsibility. You decide to invest in yourself. In the area of your purpose, in the area of your giftings, you look for materials that will build you up. Conferences like this. Thank you so much, our host, Ayobami, for putting such a conference like this together. And are really great speakers to just come and impact their life in us. Thank you so much. So you must spend time. This time you're spending here shows that you are interested in what? In investing in yourself. In investing in yourself. So you must decide to intentionally what? Invest in yourself. Attend conferences like this. If it's paid for, you have to pay. This year alone, if I tell you how much I have invested in building my capacity, many persons do not believe when I tell them. But that's how far I have to go, because I know I can't give what I don't have. So I must keep it. And I'm still investing in myself because it's a continuous journey that does not end. So you must decide to do what? To invest in yourself, to rise up beyond limits. And even when you are beyond the limit, you must keep investing in yourself to remain at the height where you are. I talked about earlier, there are several examples of people that were doing very well, but they refused to invest in themselves. They refused to be creative, like I said earlier. And that brought their downfall. We all know of Kodak. Kodak was a company that was doing very well when it comes to video camera and photography. Many of us should know of Kodak. They were the mothers and the best in the industry when it comes to photography. And one of their staff actually discovered the new digital photography we have there. Then they were using analog and printing on films and all that. So one of their staff discovered the new technology of digital photography, and they brought it to them. But they said, it will not thrive, it will not grow. No, the management pushed it aside. And he actually patented it. But some other company took the patent and they decided to do it. And when they started doing it, today Kodak is out of business. In fact, they filed him for bankruptcy, I think 2001 or 2002. They finally went out of business because they refused to be creative. And that brought them down to today. So you can see the power of creativity. So even when you are up there, you must be creative. You must keep investing in yourself for you to remain there. And we most of us will know this one very well. We know of Nokia and BlackBerry. They were the mothers and the leaders in the industry of mobile phones, the mobile phone industry. But what happened when Android came and it was time to switch to smartphones and all that, they refused to wholly accept the technology of Android and all that. And today we can see they are barely struggling to be in the industry. You have people like Apple, Samsung, and all that taking over the industry because why? We are open to accept the creativity, and they are doing very well today. So what am I saying? You must lack of value is a very, very big hold that places limits on life. And if you must ride above limits, if you must thrive, as the aim of this conference is, if you must thrive and ride above limits, you must intentionally invest in yourself and add value to your personality. So quickly, I'm going to move on. One other thing, I think I have 2 months to go, and then we'll call it a wrap. One other thing that places a limit on life is what? Fear. Fear. We all know that very, very well. Fear places so much limits on life. You are just afraid. You are just afraid, and it has kept you down over and over again. You have to knock away that fear. As we usually know, fear is always called false experience appearing to be real. That what you're afraid of is not real. Those things you're afraid of is actually not real. False experience appearing to be real. So you must ride above your fears. People are afraid of so many ridiculous things. We'll start mentioning it here. We'll just be laughing. There's so many things people are afraid of, and has kept them down. But you must break out of your fears. You must break out of your fears. So many persons have fear of success. Yes, people are afraid of succeeding, and that is what has kept them down. I'm telling you, it's laughable, but it's true. There are some persons that are afraid of success. That is their own fear. That if I succeed now, if I begin to do well and I become a manager of this company, there will be so much responsibility on me, so much eyes will be on me. You can imagine, and that's why they just refuse to be down, because they just allow complex to keep them down. And that is fear. They are afraid of succeeding. There are people that are afraid of failure. Say, what if I do these things I want to do? What if I fail? What if I fail? If I want, maybe you want to go into business, you want to be an entrepreneur, and you want to take the first step. You say, what if I take this step and it doesn't work the way I plan? What if I fail? And that has kept them down from trying. And who told you you're going to fail? And what if you don't fail? Have you asked yourself that question? What if I don't fail? We only take the negative and leave the positive. So you must ride above your fears to live a life without limits. Your fears does not exist. Sit down, count the cost, get clarity, and as a Christian as I am, you go to God in prayer and then you move. I tell you, the moment you have the signal, you are clear about, we talked about purpose, you're clear about your purpose, the next thing is to move. There is no time. There is no time. So don't allow fear of failure, person afraid of death, and all the several fears that places a limit on life. So you must decide to ride above your fears. Our host is already signaling me, so I'll try and round up and just take one more so, and then we'll go. So one other thing that places limits on life is what? Lack of vision. Lack of vision. You don't have a defined vision for yourself. You don't have a vision board. You don't have a vision of where you want to see yourself in the next 10 years. You don't have a solid vision of the plans you have for your life. It places a limit on you. You just keep going round and round, and whatever comes goes. Whatever people bring, you just follow. You don't have a vision for your own life. All you do is just follow people up and down. No, you must sit down to have a vision, a plan for your life. And that helps you to live above your limits. It forces you to live in control and you lead your life because you have a vision, you have a plan you're working with. So you must have a vision for your life. It helps you live a life without limit because you ride on what? On the wings of your vision. So one thing that keeps people down is lack of what? Of vision. Lack of vision. I have 2 more to go and then we'll call it a wrap. So Another thing, just trying to rush because of time, another thing that holds people down is also lack of consistency. Lack of consistency. I want you to write down these keys. It's very, very important. Very, very important. When you are not consistent, for a breakthrough to happen, you have to be consistent. You have to keep on doing it. The power is in the continuity. The power is in the progress. As you keep going, the limit is being broken. As you keep going, you break the limit. As you keep going, the energy comes. As you keep going, the power, the power to sustain everything, clarity comes. I said earlier, choose progress over perfection. So you have to, progress comes in continuity, consistency. So you have to be consistent in whatever you're doing. You have to be consistent. That is when you break the limit. If you're hitting a hammer on a nail, it is when you continue to hit. It is when you continue, that consistency, that's what brings the power. That's what breaks the edge. That's what breaks the nail, pierces it through the wood, and busts it out and makes it to pierce to the other side. So you must be consistent at it. You must keep hitting. You must keep hitting. Keep at it. Keep at it. If you're not seeing the result, you keep at it. When you're seeing the result, continue. You must continue. Consistency is key, as it's always said. So you must be consistent. And that is what brings out, what helps you to break the limit. So in reverse, what brings limitations of life is lack of consistency. You just hit here today and you go back. You don't continue again. And that's limit. You just keep going around in circles. So you must decide to do what? To be consistent at what you do. At the purpose you discovered yesterday, the purpose you talked about yesterday, you must be consistent on your purpose. You must keep showing up. As you see our guest today, he did the first edition. He didn't stop there. If he stopped there, it's lack of consistency. But he has showed up this year again. That is consistency. He knows what he's doing. He's breaking the limit. He has an expectation in mind, and he has a focus, and he keeps hitting at it until he achieves what he wants to achieve. So consistency is what is key. You must be consistent. And finally, to wrap it up, you must what? Have faith. Our guest said it earlier on how lack of faith, so many of us lack faith. So the lack of faith, I think faith cuts across all religions. You must have faith. You must believe in yourself. You must believe in the vision you have. You must believe in your assignment. You must believe in it. If you don't believe in it, that's a limit automatically on your life. So you must believe in the assignment. You must believe in your purpose. You must believe that, yes, there is something God needed to do here on earth that made my birth necessary. I didn't just show up. There is something God needed to do on earth that made my birth necessary. In that way, automatically, a limit has just left your life. So you must have faith to believe. Because if you don't believe, you can limit God. Even the Bible says, the Holy Scripture says in the book of Psalms 78, verse 41, it said, they limited God, saying, so you can limit God by your unbelief. You can limit him. You can limit his capacity in the things he wants to do in your life. You can limit him as far as he wants to go. If you listen to the story of Ibukun Awoshika, the CEO of First Bank, there's a very beautiful part of our story that talks about how faith has worked for us to see what we celebrate in our life today. If not for the faith and our ability to believe in what she knows that she was supposed to do. So you must believe in yourself. You must have faith. You must be solid, because lack of faith automatically places a limit. Because even God that is supposed to back you up cannot back you up because you don't even believe in what he has called you to be. So I want us to listen to these things and put it into practice. Like, I think, was it our speaker, our host that said it yesterday, that with these few points of mine, see, look. So I think you said something like that yesterday.
Yeah, I hope I've been able to convince you and not confuse you.
Yes. So I want to close on that case as well. So with these few points of mine, I hope I've been able to
know,
convince you and not
you,
confuse.
you cannot go anywhere for now. All right. We expect that as viewers are watching this, that you have a question or one or two questions. So I'm going to maybe say some things and maybe broaden some of the ideas that Mr. Comey just shared with us, and maybe let you understand it from my own point of view, bit by bit. But if you have listed or written down any questions so far in your notes, this is the right time to ask them. All right, I'm going to take the first three questions. All right, the first three questions. The next speaker is already chatting me up on WhatsApp, like, "Oh, I'm ready for you guys." I said, "Don't worry, ma'am. We are ready for you to." But the first speaker is about wrapping up. So let me just say this now. When you say leadership, self-leadership is the number one leadership so far. Like, can you lead yourself? How well can you lead yourself? They say that what? Discipline is not just about you saying you're going to do it. It is what happens when the feelings that propel you to say you're going to do it is gone. When people are no longer watching you, when those feelings are gone, that is the real discipline. So self-leadership, yeah. So self-leadership is like, okay, I'm going to start. And when I start, when people are not clapping for me, when people are not saying well done, when I'm not being paid, when I'm not saying, will I continue to do these things? Now, this is not for you to donate anything, please. Whatever you're even going to be purchasing, maybe this conference tape, is going for donation on our Impact 1000. So people are going to be impacted through you to get into school. So what I'm trying to make you understand is that iThrive conference is self-funded, all right? And all glory be to God. We are moving. Now, second thing, Mr. Comey said something about vision and purpose. It is very key. If you don't have it, it will not move. All right? I could have started iThrive maybe 5 years ago and I will stop because I don't really have the vision. I don't know what I want to do. But because I have that sole vision in line with what I'm going to say right now, speed is key. All right? Speed is key. Just start. I can remember the idea came in around 7 p.m. on July 2020. And that night till the next morning around 4 a.m., I did not sleep. The jotter is not here, but I was just writing. Who are the speakers that can come? How are we going to do it? How many day events? Who are guest artists? Who do we need to bring? Like, I wrote from that night till the next morning. So when idea comes to you, let me tell you the truth. Miles Moreau will say, what idea is when people tell you that, hey, I have revelation are just ideas. And ideas, when put in the right platform, in the right environment, we germinate. So that is important. Another point is this, which I'm taking out of what he's saying. So please get your question. I'm just allowing you to type your question before we come to it. Another thing is valuing yourself. Ask yourself, I don't want to be limited. All right? You don't want to be limited in your business, in your relationship. But the question is, are you valuing yourself? Ask yourself this question. What is my worth? If they should pay me per hour right now, how much am I worth per dollar? Ask yourself. If they are to pay you right now, how much are you worth per dollar? When you understand, and let me tell you the truth, and this is with all due respect, if Mr. Comey has noticed that I am somebody of no worth, I'm telling you, he will not be on this conference. Before he said yes to me, he must have gone to do his research. So if you are to invite me or I'm to invite you, what will be your worth? Will I tell you no because I'm like, no, this person is not it? Or will I tell you yes because I know that, oh, this person is a respectable, reputable person that people need to listen to? All right. And on that, thank you very much, Mr. Comey, for accepting to impact people on this platform. I appreciate it. Now, on the aspect of consistency, okay, with all humility, I've gotten about 10 to 15 people on WhatsApp. Oh, you are consistent with your podcast. Well done on this. But let me even tell you from the aspect of me not being consistent, so that you can know that we are human and we learn. So I'm not coming to tell you that I'm all this perfect. I don't make mistakes. I do. Now, I created a community, Facebook community about 2 years ago. I didn't do anything. I had about maybe like 36 members. This year, I said, okay, I'm going to do something about this community. I want 1,000. Now, between that time, maybe about March till now, I've built it from 36 to around 840 something members.
Wow.
All right. Now, what happened? Intentionality to say I'm going to be consistent to build this community. And before the end of this year, I'm looking to have maybe around 3,000 to 5,000 members. Now, that is only possible when you intentionally say you want to do something. Let me tell you this, that I said it yesterday, and let me repeat it again. Zero action, zero result. Average action, average result. Normal action, normal result. Massive action, massive result. So you cannot just, it will happen, God will do it. God has done it. Your own is to take the action. The grace will come. See, the grace is sufficient for all. All right? The grace is sufficient. So your own is, what are you doing? When you understand your vision, your why, then the how. Ask God for wisdom. And let me tell you, the more you do something, the more you learn about it. That is just it. So that is just it. So let me see if we have some questions all the way here right now. If there are no questions, I'm going to allow Mr. Marvin to go. Wow. Should we say we understood everything perfectly? They already said thank you, Mr. Comey. Thank you, Mr. Comey, for sharing a lot of value in true words. All right. I will say they truly got the value from you. Okay, say thank you very much. Okay, that is for me. So for now, I will say there are no questions. But on this note, are there anything that you want to leave us with that you know that has been very impactful to you, that you know that, okay, this is something I would love to let I try 2021 participants to go with? Do you want to share it with us, sir?
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. And I think you basically start whatever you know your destiny requires, your purpose requires, you have to start. And I will leave you with these words: choose progress over perfection. Don't say I will be perfect first before I start. I have to be perfect. Everything has to be in the right shape. The money, everything I need has to, no. Choose progress over perfection. Perfection comes on the journey. On the journey, as you keep going, you become perfect on the journey. So choose progress over perfection, because you don't have time. Like I always say, you don't have 600 years to be here on earth. So the little you have here to be, make the best impact that you'll be proud of yourself when you go to heaven tomorrow. You'll be proud and say, yes, I used the 100 years I lived on earth. I used the 120 very well. You'll be proud. So you won't be having regrets. So make the best impact. Everything you want to do, this is the time to do it. There's no tomorrow. This is the time. So make the best impact you want to live your life to be remembered for. Imagine someone like Miles Monroe. He's no more, but his life is still impacting us. You heard the speaker, the host talk about him. His life is still adding value to many. So leave the best impact that you want. Starts now.
Awesome. Start now. Okay, let me say, like the Nigeria vendors that they advertise, grab your copy. Nah. All right, so thank you very much, Mr. Comey. It's really a big honor, and I so much appreciate you, like you sacrificing your time right now to impact people purposefully, because it's part of your mission statement or what you believe in your profile, that okay, impact one to also impact others. So thank you very much, and I believe that once we can do that, it will create triple effects. I may not be able to reach 1 million people, but can I touch 10 people that will touch another 10 people, and the next year touch another 100 people, then touch 1 million? It's possible. You just have to start with that one person. So that is it. So thank you very much for choosing to be one of the speakers to impact this person, the participants, and I definitely look forward to connecting more with you on more meetings. Thank you very much. So guys, if you want to connect, which I will expect you to do, which is very important, I want you to go to Instagram right now and connect with Comey Marvins. All right, Comey Marvins. Let me make sure I'm getting that right. All right, let me make sure I'm getting that right.
Comey _
Marvins. All right, Comey _ Marvins. All right, let me just put that out there. All right, Comey _ Marvin.
Yeah.
Correct. All right. So that is it. So guys, go there right now and follow Mr. Comey. His podcast is exceptional. You don't want to miss it. All right. I'm a podcaster myself, and I believe that don't just listen to music, listen to something that will build you up in every ramification. Okay. So it's important. Our next speaker is already waiting. I just want to say thank you very much, Mr. Comey, and we look forward to having you next time. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
All the best.
All right, so guys, that is it from Mr. Marvin, Mr. Comey, and the next person. This is the queen in the in the building. Yeah, this is the queen in the building. She's the only lady among us, and I just want to say she's ready for us. So without any waste of time, but let me ask you, how has the first section been so far? Like, how is the first section? How is the first section? We are going straight into the second section. So guys, I need you to share this right now. Tell people that we are live broadcasting. Let them connect. Let me tell you this. This is free. And let me tell you, all this teaching right now is something that you're supposed to pay like 10,000, 20,000, 40,000, 50,000 naira for, about $100 to be in, but this is free. All right. So share it with people. Let them connect. Let them be on this section. Now the next trainer is around with us. All right. So I'm allowing her to join us live. So one thing is, the speaker is ready for us, but let me introduce her. She's the queen in the building. All right. She's our queen, all right, because she's the only lady among the speakers. But let me read her profile so that we can really understand where she's coming from, the value that this woman is full of, like super powered up to really give us the best. Okay, now let me tell you the truth. Let me just say this intro first. While I was growing up, I needed to learn a lot of things. All right, oh, I don't want them to see your face, but definitely see your face. Don't worry, we are good. We are good. We are good. But let me tell you this. When I was growing up, I wish I knew some things. I wish parents let me tell you the truth. I love the way I was raised. And they'll say in something, there's an adage in Yoruba, ati bie, only that's beer, right? That you have been giving birth to, we've given birth to you, then you need to rebirth yourself. But you know, sometimes you wish as if you are able to express yourself better. You're able to really like let them understand me, let them know what I'm teaching, let them know what I'm doing, let them know my talent, let them know what I can do. Let me tell you, this person right here, Ebere Bolu, is an expert in parenting. And tonight she's going to be doing some massive thing for us, helping us to understand some things. Now, but let me read her profile so that you can know who she is. Ebere Bolu is an A-level economics and math teacher with 16 years teaching experience in high achieving independent school in the United Kingdom. Ebere Bolu teaches parents and teachers to recognize and utilize the unique strengths that children have and use this strength to help them. She believes that having a sense of purpose and meaning is critical to success in life. So she equips and empowers parents to raise their children intentionally to live a life of purpose. I'm loving this. Ebere has a master's in educational leadership and management from the University of Nottingham and a BSc in economics and finance from Loughborough University. She founded Learn3 in 2017, an after-school club in Surbiton, UK, focused on making learning fun for primary school children. And she uses her love and knowledge of psychology, educational theory, neuroscience, and biblical principles to help you raise humans that thrive. And tonight she's going to be teaching us about raising humans who thrive. See, I don't know how you're going to be doing your clapping, maybe the emoji, or you're going to be raising your hand, or you're going to be dropping some emoji in the comment section, but put your hands together for Ebere Bolu. Welcome on I Thrive Conference, the second edition. Now we want to see your face.
Hello.
Great to have you.
Thank you so much for having me. I hope my connection is good. Let me just put my phone on mute.
All right. All right. Thank you.
I can hear
you loud and clear. I can see your
Okay.
beautiful hair and your pattern dress. You're welcome.
Thank you very much. So it's all clear. Okay.
Yeah.
Are we good to go?
Yeah, we're good to go. Now, I've done a little bit of your introduction to the best I can, but I believe there's still something down within that you might not let us know about you, or something that you want to connect with us on. So I still want to allow the floor to be open to introduce yourself better for us.
First of all, thank you. You're doing a really good job organizing all of this and bringing speakers together. And I know that, this is streamed out and more people get to watch and learn. I saw the one from last year. And so honestly, it's amazing. And thank you for having me. I'm so honored to be the woman. I'll be repping the women today. So Don't worry, ladies. I've got the floor for you. I'm going to make sure that they hear our voices.
Thank you.
But I just want to say something that I find quite important. Is every time I hear my profile being read, something that always comes to mind is the fact that I am a mum is not what qualifies me to sit here and talk to you about parenting. That's not what qualifies me. The fact that I am a teacher, even though, yes, I have 16 years experience working with children in the classroom, I understand how they think and all of that. That's not what qualifies me either. It's not my parent, it's not the fact that I'm a parent, it's not the fact that I'm a teacher, it's not the fact that I have the degrees I have. It's not, none of those things are what qualifies me to sit in front of you. I believe that really we all have a purpose. What qualifies me is a combination of everything. I believe that this is what I was called to do. So even if I didn't have children, I thank God for my lovely children, I will still be qualified to sit here because this is what I was born to do. And it's just following on from what other speakers have said about purpose, about finding your unique self, understanding your purpose and living it. So that's really what drives me in this field. It's because I was born to do this that I went into teaching, that I study so much about child psychology. It's the reason why I do everything else, as opposed to those things being the reason why I'm here talking to you. So I just thought I'd start by saying that, and we'll be talking about how to raise humans who thrive. It's my favorite topic because it covers everything really. I'm not going to start straight away. I'll wait for our host to come back on. But another thing I just wanted to mention is the fact that we are sitting here as adults wanting to understand how to thrive. We want to be successful. And we're hearing lovely speakers, very, experts really talking about how to get the best out of us as adults. But the truth is, I'm sitting here and I'm like, intervention is great, but prevention is way better.
Oh.
And it's just, look, we need the intervention. I'm still going to courses and classes to intervene, to help correct certain things I picked up. And that's inevitable because we're not perfect. We're raised by imperfect people and we ourselves are imperfect. So even if our parents did the best job, we will still pick up things from other areas. But prevention, equipping yourself with knowledge so that you can avoid certain mistakes early with your children, you can set them up on the right path early, is the best thing you can do. So that's why I believe you reached out to me, and I'm honored to be here.
Thank you very much. I won't say I am. I'm still privileged to be part of a training with Ebere Bolo. I think that is the Speaker Connect by Fela Drotoye, and every single person in that group is powerful. And it's a privilege that I was chosen to be the group leader. At a point, I wanted making Ebere Bolo the leader of that group, but she was just pushing it and she was just pushing. I was like, okay, let me just take it up. And another thing she just said right now, which is very important. The day I understood that I'm a product of everything that I've experienced since the day I've been born till now, I have to learn one thing. Before she starts, I'm going to share it with you, and that is what? Making sure that you are responding to life or you're not just reacting to life. It might look so simple, but please write it down and know it. Making sure that what you are responding to life and not just reacting to life. See, the default setting of every man is just what? React. You they mad? What do you do that for? Okay, you just spend the money. I'm like, but what if you could have, when you woke up in the morning, like, okay, there's possibility of this thing happening. How will I respond to it? Now, I will get to work. Somebody might want to get me angry. How will I respond to it? Okay, I'm doing a work right now. I need to be paid, or I'm expecting to maybe build my income to this amount. What if the income or there's a market crash? How will I respond to it? Now, people did not build themselves to respond. That is why you see some people commit suicide. That's why you see some relationship broken. That's why you see some people get crazy at work. So understand this. I just want you to understand. You need to start living a responsive life and not just a reactive one. So I'm going to stop right there and allow the queen. Okay, no, not as she said, as I said. All right, but she's trying to take the title as I said it. But I want her to like break it down and let us understand how we can actually live a thriving what? A thriving lifestyle. All right. Building it up and growing in that, and not just coming from aftermath, but what can happen from the precept so that we can get our concept right. So the floor is yours, ma'am. Take us away.
Okay, thank you. So let's get into it. One thing I want us to really just realize is this: we were born to thrive. Now, I know that not everybody believes it. I know that some people are listening, hey, they've come. They're telling me that I'm born to this, but look at me, my life. I don't feel like I'm thriving. I get it. But let's just start with that belief. We were actually born, created for a purpose to thrive. Now, just listen. This is not just something religious people believe. People are starting to see that actually they only feel successful when they start to find meaning in their life. And a lot of times when they start to find that meaning, they realize it was always there. So we were actually born for a purpose. There is something that we are supposed to be impacting, influencing for the better. That's why we have unique talents and gifts that other people may not have in the same measure. Not only do we have those talents and gifts, we are also born. I could have been born into any family in any part of the world, in any country. I could have been. But, I personally believe I was supposed to come through the family I came through because that's the area in which I'm supposed to influence. It doesn't mean that small area, but there's something that is important in the way I came in, because that's what I'm supposed to influence and have an impact. So the point I'm trying to make is that I want you to look at yourself sitting here. All the things you think, you believe you have a purpose. You believe that, there's something unique. The success doesn't come from money and doesn't come from a job and all that. It comes from having meaning. I'm going to ask you, just answer this question in your mind. You don't have to type it out. Relax. I want you to feel relaxed. Ask yourself, when did all that begin? Did it just begin in your 30s, in your 20s? Did it begin in your 40s? It began from when you were born. And you know that. You know that when you were born, there was something unique about you. So this is what I want to help you with. I want you, as I talk, I want you to think more about yourself. We'll come to your child, but think about yourself, because when you understand it for yourself, you will understand what you shouldn't be doing with your children. So, as I said to you, you're born with everything to thrive. And the reason why I'm going to say one more thing to help you understand that, when you start producing results that make you successful, you will realize it wasn't because of anything on the outside. You will realize, oh my gosh, they listen to me in this area where I am gifted. I get called up to speak in this area where I'm gifted. My success comes from this area where I'm gifted. It's not anything external. It's not the job I had as a banker. It's not the job I had as this. It's not that. It's not that. It's my gift that is making way for me. Once you start to realize that, you say, oh my gosh, that's why I am actually, that's why I was actually born. This is my unique space. Once you connect that, you understand that that's why your child was born. There's something unique about them. I don't want you to miss that. The problem is, though, as parents, we think we know better. It's such an unfortunate thing, because we think we know better. It's not as if we created the child. It's not as if we put anything in the child. Quite frankly, let's all remember how this child came about. We haven't put any gift, talent, anything in this child. But somehow we think we know better, and we try to pour things down their throats, and the child knows instinctively, even though they can't communicate it to us, they know that this is not me. They know that this thing doesn't feel right. They know that, look, I don't know how to say, but this thing you're trying to force me is not who I am. The most important thing you need to do is see your child for who they are. The thing you need to stop straight away is not seeing them for who they are. I'm just going to pause for 1 second, and forgive me, Ayo, but there's an alarm going off in this room. I just need to switch it off, if that's okay.
Sure, that's okay. That's okay. So guys, man, okay, as a child myself, because I normally tell myself I'm a student always, and that means that I'm always learning. Guys, ladies and gentlemen, it's important that you internalize this thing. All right, because while you are growing up, you molded after your parents, you look into the things that are happening, and over that time, it has built the way you think. So it's important that you're reshaping this so that you can get different results. most of us, we sabotage ourselves because of the way we think. All right, I'm not going to take the floor. Let me just allow the queen to continue. So please.
Sorry about that. Okay, so yeah, let me just carry on. So that means that I want you now to look at your child. They are already with all their gifts and talents inside of them. It means that there's one role for you. There's one encompassing role for you to do. Your role is not to tell them who they are and who they will be. That's the biggest mistake that we make. We think we know. You will be an engineer, you'll be a doctor. It's so annoying. I'm like, why are you doing this? Do you know who this child is? Your job is to let them become. Your job is not to tell them who they are. They have come. Do you know more than the person, do you know more than the creator? Do you know more than who designed and created them? Do you know more? What can you actually put in them that'll be better than anything that's inside of them? I say this to parents, come on. So when you're looking at your child, I want you to start from the perspective that this child came with a purpose. Now, I told you I use psychology, neuroscience, I use biblical principles as well. If you think about, let's take any biblical character you can think of, they had a purpose, they had a reason. If the parents try to force a different purpose down them, that's why some of us are sitting here unfulfilled, unhappy, because the society, your parents, your friends try to make you fit into a world that you don't quite fit in. And that's always a big issue. So think about it now. What should we be doing as parents? Now, let me try and give you this analogy. It's an analogy I like to use that helps parents understand what our role is. So the child has come through you into this world to solve a problem that needs to be solved. I am right here. I came through my mom into this world, and by God's grace, I am solving a problem that needs to be solved. If there were no problems, there'll be no need for more humans to be born. Think about it. So this child has come through you to solve a problem. You don't know what the problem is. The child knows but cannot communicate it. You are their host. Your job is to look after them. So actually, think about it as you traveling to a new country, somewhere you've never been before. Pick somewhere you've never been before. Maybe I'm just thinking, in Asia, somewhere far away. At least if you're from Nigeria, from Africa, think of somewhere in Asia, just somewhere far away you've never been before. You need a host. You need someone to guide you. You're going to land in that country not knowing the language, not knowing anything about it. You will know that there's a reason why you've come to this place, but you need a guide. You need someone to show you how to navigate this place that you're living in. And you need that person to, help you, show you the ropes, teach you the language, teach you how to communicate with other people, because those are the people that you're going to influence. Those are the people that you're going to impact. You need to know how to communicate with them. So that's what this person will be teaching. That's you, mom and dad. You are supposed to show your child how to navigate this world. And let me tell you how you show them. You show your child how to navigate this world by how you treat them. You show your child how to navigate this world more specifically by how you love them. Now I'm going to explain that. When your child is born, just like when you visit this new country, they don't have a clue about anything. In fact, when we think about how their brain develops, there's a part of their brain that develops very quickly, and that part of the brain right here is showing them who am I supposed to connect with? Who am I supposed to love? Oxytocin starts to flow through their body as soon as they meet you and connect with you. They know you instinctively, okay? And they are looking for you because you're going to teach them how to love and you're going to teach them how to learn. You become their view of the world. How you treat your child forms a map in their brain. So what that means is, think about, their brain is ready to take on all this information. So how their brain forms, how their brain is structured depends on the experiences that you show them. How you love them, how you treat them is what affects how their brain develops. That's why they say the first 2 to 3 months of a child's birth is the most important, because their brain is growing rapidly. Their brain increases by about 66% from when they're born to the first 3 months. There's a rapid growth. Millions of neurons are being formed at the same time. And that is helping them grasp everything. They're trying to pick up all kinds of information. The experience that you show them, as I said already, is what affects their map of the world. For example, when they're born, They need a nappy, or they're wet, they need to be changed, they cry out. How quickly you respond tells them how quickly the world responds to their needs. If you respond quickly, soothe them, change their nappy, make them dry again. Oh, they're cold, you wrap them up, you make them warmer. Oh, they're hungry, you give them food, and you're responding to their needs. You're attuned. The child starts to understand that, my needs are being met. That means I'm safe. Once you feel safe, you relax. Okay, let's move away from the child. Let's go back to you in this foreign country. Oh, you call your host, I don't know where to do. The toast is like, oh, there you go. I've already got a map for you. This is where you need to be tomorrow. This is what you're going to do. Oh, but what do I eat? Oh, I've set dinner for you. Okay, all right. But I don't know how, this is, and they're just telling you everything. Soon, what would you do? You will relax. You will start to feel safe. The safer a child feels, the safer a human feels, the happier they are. The safer that you feel, the more likely you are willing to explore. If you come into this new town and your host is like, oh, you called someone, I need something, they're not there, you can't find them, or you're hungry, you're starving, nobody comes and gives you food, you start to feel unsafe. Your brain goes into survival mode. Now, this is the next thing I want you to pick up. Our brains, the primary aim of our brains is to keep us alive. So that means that everything we do is to really keep us alive. So that means that once you start noticing that, nobody is really responding to your needs, or maybe your host comes, but later, you've been calling for food all morning, they come at night. Maybe so again, with a baby, if the mom is not really attuned to the child, not really responding, or the dad is not really responding as much, their primary caregiver is not really responding to them as they need, then the child starts to feel unsafe. That's why you might have the child maybe crying more or just agitated. But the biggest change is in their bodies. Their biology, the way with their stress hormones starts to elevate. And I want you to think about yourselves, how you start to feel, oh my gosh, I'm unsafe. This is so important. You might be thinking this is a small baby, what do they know? But it's so important because how their brain forms and how their stress hormone levels start to be formed at that age impacts how they are as adults. An anxious child becomes an anxious adult. A nervous child becomes a nervous adult. I am not saying it's inevitable, but unless there's a positive interruption, that's what you'll get. Unless there are positive circumstances that changes that around, an anxious child, and they've done these studies where they look at children up until the age of 3, they study them, they look at their anxiety levels, they look at their attention, how much they can focus on attention, all of that. They look at how securely attached they are to their parents. They look at how safe and how nurtured and soothed they feel. They look at these children and then they compare that. They make a prediction of the children that would actually graduate from university, have stable relationships, have, successful lives, and they measure it later on in many years, and they've seen that the predictions in most cases were actually correct. They can predict from the age of 3 whether the child would actually, get certain kinds of illnesses that are linked to high stress levels. So these things are actually things that are measured. This is why how we raise our children is so important, because it affects their biology, it affects the physiology, it affects the psychology of the child. What do you need to do? You need to be attuned to your child. What that means is that the child has to feel, number one, seen. The number one way to feel seen is by people accepting you for who you are. So when a child feels like my parents understand me, they know that I like arts and crafts and they value what I like. They don't degrade what I like and elevate maths because society said maths is more important. I'm a maths teacher, by the way, but I'm saying this with all confidence. If you elevate a subject above the needs of your child, you will start to have an anxious, unhappy child, because the need of the child is way more important. Don't put any societal standards above the needs of the child, the talents, the gift. The child knows who they are. So you're born, you know that you like arts, you know that there's something about performance and, entertainment. There's something in that you gravitate to. You want to be a speaker, but you don't know what the word is. You like to talk, and people are trying to shut you down and say, sit down, focus, do maths, do this, you start to feel disconnected from yourself. Now, scientists have found this. If a child feels that they cannot communicate with their parents, their needs, if they cannot communicate with their parents, their needs, then they cannot communicate their needs to themselves. They start to feel disconnected from themselves. That's why when I ask some of you what you're good at, what your purpose is, I don't know. That's what you say. It's such a sad state of affairs. And the only reason why you don't know is because over the years, you've learned to not focus on your needs, on your antenna, your signals. You've dumbed them down. Why? Because you wanted to do what your primary carer wanted. So let's go back to this baby or this you in a new country. You find out that every time you say to your host, I now want to fulfill my purpose. I am here to do X, Y, Z. The host is like, you want to do X, Y, Z. Please, go and do your maths. Is it football? Is it this one? No, please go and sit and do your maths. You know, and they're pushing you in a different direction. That host is feeding you. That host is the only person that can look after your needs, your looking, your bathing, your whatever you need. That host is clothing you. You don't know anywhere else. You're a child dependent on that host. Eventually, because of the love for your parents, you will dumb down and cover up what your real purpose is, what you're gravitating to in order to please the parent. That's why you start to find children from adults from a young age as children ignoring what their passions, their talents, their gifts, because they knew, even if they couldn't say, they knew what they were always gravitating to. Some of them were always gravitating to little animals and insects. And, come on, put that down. It's dirty. You know, you're doing all that kind of reaction to them. And so they start to push all those passions down in order to please you, because their survival, as I said, is way more important. The brain wants you to survive. You see why loving your child is the most important thing. And please, when we talk about loving, so many people have different definitions of what they think love is. You hear, you know, if you watch a soap opera, if you watch a South American soap opera, love means something else. And when you watch an American soap, love means something. Watch Nollywood, love is something else. Love is something different. But the truth is, there is one definition of love that nobody argues with. And I found it in 1 Corinthians 13. And it's simple. Are you patient with your children? Because your patience is what would allow them to be themselves. It's only when you're your authentic selves that you thrive. Success comes from doing meaningful work that you love. That is what you want to do. That's when you thrive. Do you know why when you are in meaningful work that you love, you thrive? You know why? Because you persevere. Because when the obstacles come, you don't give up. It has to be something you love that you don't feel like working, you keep going. So if you're not patient with your child, if you don't accept them for who they are, if you don't see them for who they are and let them be who they're born to be, they cannot thrive because they will not persevere. They will give up at the first obstacle. When you don't see a child for who they are, I said to you already, if you don't accept them for who they are, if you don't see them for who they are, they stop accepting themselves for who they are. Because listen, if I'm so passionate about something, but my parents don't care about it, like, please, okay, I know you love this one, but come and do this one first. This is more important. And my parents are elevating something else over what I know I'm passionate about. The child doesn't think, what's wrong with my mom and dad? Do you know what they think? They think, what's wrong with me? Why do I love this thing so much that the people around me do not respect and do not think it's important? My brain, why are you gravitating me to speaking? And why are you gravitating me to singing and making music? Why don't you just let me be like everybody else? The child starts to resent themselves. They're sitting in a classroom. We're like, well done, you got 90%. And you're looking at the other child. The child is just like, why am I here? Why am I like this? You see, this is what we do to our children when we don't celebrate and accept them for who they are. And a lot of times we do it out of what we consider to be love. But it's not love if you don't accept me for who you are, for who I am. I understand that you're trying, because you're like, no, please, I want my child to be successful. So I'm going to drag them in this area because engineering is successful. mathematics subjects. So before my love of them, but I'm telling you now, I'm shifting that table for you. I'm helping you realize that you're not helping them be successful by dragging them to where society says that's where the money is. You're helping them be successful by allowing them to be who they were born to be. You don't know. And some of you now and might be listening to me, and you're makeup artists making money, you're cake makers and you're making money, you're event planners and you're teachers like myself and you are making money. People are calling you, people are booking you, you're overbooked, your musicians. Okay. 10 years ago, 20 years ago, were your parents celebrating you for doing that? Or how come you're making a living out of it now? So, so are you doing the same thing to your child? Are you pushing them to an industry that you think is successful now? Let them be who they were born to be. And that gift will make a way for them. So make sure they are seen for who they are and accepted. That is love. 1 Corinthians talk about being patient, being kind, slow to anger. You don't dishonor them. You don't envy. You don't boast. You're not self-seek. You don't seek your own way. Let's talk about that not easily angered thing now. That's a very important one. We are so quick to lose our temper with our children. When we lose our temper with our children and being impatient, we cause them to be fearful. Let me tell you something. You don't thrive when you're fearful. I told you when you visit a new country, you need your host. When they make you feel safe and relaxed and you can trust them. You see, 1 Corinthians, love always trusts. When you can trust the host, you relax. You can now start unpacking and thinking about your purpose. If you are thinking about your survival, okay, this person doesn't cook when I'm hungry, they don't bring the food. When I'm out of there, they're always shouting, losing their temper. All I'm trying to do is ask them, how to get this place and that place. And you're nervous. You can't think about your purpose then. At that point, all you're thinking about is surviving, not thriving. Surviving, not thriving. That's why a lot of us are in survival mode. We don't have the scope or the capacity to thrive because we are living in fear. And let me tell you something, that fear that we live in starts from childhood. Two people can be in the same situation. One person is crippled by fear and the other person bounces back. They're more resilient. Do you know why that person is more resilient and the other person is crippled by fear? This person crippled by fear has excessive levels of stress hormones. They find it difficult to bounce back. Let me talk very quickly about resilience if I can. What makes you bounce back? Because that's what makes you successful. You bounce back when there are difficulties. You keep going when things are hard. You persevere. When there's boring work to be done, you do it because actually you love it. You know that you need to do it in order to fulfill your purpose. But you're only resilient if you already have that mental capacity in you. And that mental capacity is deposited in you from birth, from how your parents respond to you. That's what I mean. Okay? So if you are growing up in an environment where you don't feel that people see you, I've already said to you, you will lack self-belief. You will lack self-worth. If people lose their temper with you when you make a mistake, when you spill milk, when you get something wrong, they're shouting at you, how can you do that? Then you are too fearful to make mistakes. You start to believe there's something wrong with you. If people don't accept you for who you are, you start to doubt yourself. If people are controlling and don't let you make decisions, you don't trust yourself to make decisions. When all these things happen, you then don't trust yourself, you don't believe in yourself, you don't love yourself. That causes you to not be resilient. Because what actually happens then is that you can't bounce back, because the minute you hit a brick wall, you say, yes, I expected to fail. I always fail. But when you know you're loved, when you're treated as, we trust you, we believe in you, and it's not just talk. I always say to parents, a lot of parents talk about affirmations. I'm telling you, your affirmations are not more important than your expectations of your child. It's not just about affirmation for your child. My child is this, my child is that, but your expectations of your child will show in your actions. The only way that your affirmations for your child will actually lead to the results that you're affirming is when they match your expectation. When they match your expectation of your child, affirmation and expectation put together, my goodness, your child is like, yes, I have people in my corner. When you believe that you have a team in your corner, you keep going. I said to you, when you feel safer, you're more likely to explore. You're more likely to take risks. If you don't take risks, you don't succeed. You see why loving your child, the true meaning of love, being patient, kind, not self-seeking, not seeking what my friends say, no, but seeking the need to actually fulfill the needs of the child. Humbling yourself to know that you don't know more than this child, you don't know best. You didn't create this child, really, let's be honest. Now, when I say this, and I'm rushing because there's so much to unpack in all of this, so I'm trying to rush through it. When I say to people like, hey, so I just leave my child, so if my child says they want to be a baba, so I should just let them be a baba. I'm saying to you that, first of all, I'm not going to say any more about what I'm about to say. What I'm about to say is this. I'm not asking you to ask your child what they want to become. That question alone leads to a lot of problems. Don't ask them what you want to be when you grow up. I have videos on my Instagram. Go and look at why I don't like those sort of questions. They put pressure. They're cute when the child is little and the child says, I want to be an astronaut. But when the child grows older, it just causes fear and pressure, and also gives them the impression that there is one thing you can be. And if the role for which they are born to fulfill doesn't yet exist, what do you want them to say? Because some of us did not know speaker when we were children. Some of us did not know MUA when we were children. So what would you have said? You would have now felt the pressure. Hey, let me just say, doctor, so that my parents, you're looking for what will please them. In the end, you're not fulfilling who you are. So let's move away from that. I'm not saying, oh, so that should I just let my child be whatever they want to be. I'm asking you to focus on loving your child. Don't worry about the job. It's not your role to worry about the job. It's not your role. Are you going to do it for them? Even if you got them the job and the degree, are you going to sit down there? Is it you that will cause their promotion? No, but really. So that's not your role. Okay? So you will, exactly. So think about it. Your main aim, what you want to be doing, is just loving them, helping them know that you trust them. That's number one. The second thing you want to be focusing on is helping them to learn. I want to say one more thing about helping them and loving them, because I think people just think that loving your children is just a soft thing for soft people. You're spoiling them. Love is the strongest thing you can do. Love is strength. When you read what love is, like, I said earlier, you're not reacting, you're responding. Love, when you love someone, you pause, you listen. You look for ways to help them. You don't judge them. You don't stop and tell them, this is what you're always doing. You don't accuse them, keeping record of wrong. This is what you always do. You don't put them down. To love, you have to respond. You don't react. You have self-control. And when you love, you teach your child to love. You see, when you are patient, kind, when you keep no record of wrong, you forgive, when you trust, when you persevere, you teach your child to do those things. You're modeling it for them. Write this down. You only succeed. Your level of success is basically limited by your capacity to love. Fact, write it down. Your level of thriving or success is limited by your capacity to love. You cannot succeed more than your capacity to love. If you cannot love, you cannot succeed. I'm telling you now, if you don't love yourself, and that's where it starts, if you don't love others, you cannot succeed. You cannot, because you cannot meet the needs of people. If you don't meet the needs of people, you get no reward. So teaching your child how to love is not some soft skill. It's it's actually considered a soft skill, but it's not some soft thing. It's the number one thing you must be doing if you want your child to thrive. Studies have shown, I'm a teacher and I'm telling you this, children who know they're loved, know that their parents believe in them, know that their parents accept them for who they are, learn better. Facts. You do not learn and thrive when you are fearful. Fear comes when you're always thinking, oh, if I do wrong, you're hyperactive, you're hypervigilant, always looking around. If I do wrong, my parents will be angry. If I do this, you cannot learn, you cannot focus. You become pressured. It means that every mistake you make, rather than thinking, oh, that was a mistake, I need to adjust myself and try that again, you think, oh, you put your head down. As soon as you make a mistake, how are you supposed to succeed if every time you hit a brick wall, you fall down? One thing I've noticed with a lot of people I speak to, actually a lot of parents I speak to, there is this collective learned helplessness. You've learned to not have, and to believe that you don't have any control over your life. The reason why you've learned that you don't have any control over your life is because of how you were raised. Let me help you out with that. There are people, actually, when things go wrong, they think, God, help me. Oh, I don't know what to do. Oh, this is the end. Rather than taking action and stepping forward. Do you know why? They have learned from when they were children that their actions led to no positive outcome. Let me help you out with that. Let me break this down for you now. So let's say as a child, your parents reacted harshly to you. In some cases, their parents were beating, flogging, whatever it is, right? Some parents are difficult, you hear, go and stand here, go and face here. They put you in this dark, all sorts of nonsense, harsh punishments that don't help any human being. Let me just tell you now, if you're beating your children, I always find a way to just stop it. There is not one single benefit, not one. If there's one benefit, please just share with me. I've read everything. If you have any scientifically proven studies, if you have any biblical examples, if you have any experiential examples, if you have years of experience with children that you can tell me that beating, shouting, losing your temper yields success, I want you to share that with me. Because I know there's not one good benefit of it. If you're doing it, stop now, then come and find me and we'll talk about why. Just stop first. Then come and find me and we'll talk about why. You need to stop it right now. And I'll give you this example. I might just stop here. I might end here. When you're in danger, and danger could be anything. It could be in a new place where your brain is scanning, looking around. Am I safe? Let me see if there's any danger here. When you're in danger, the first thing humans do is cry out for help. Mommy, daddy, whoever is closer to you. And I think about, like, you might see it in some really sad cases where you've seen, police brutality or something like that, and people are in custody. Grown men shout out for their mom. When you are in danger, you cry out for help. There are children at home who are being, responded or reacted to harshly by a parent who is angry by something that they've done. A parent taking out their anger on them, hitting the child or putting them in any kind of difficult situation. What does the child do? Mommy, daddy, stop, please, they beg. But you carry on because you think you're doing something good, for example. The next stage for any human is to try and fight out of the situation. So you cry for help, help doesn't come, or you cry for help and they don't stop beating you. This is science I'm talking about, scientific. I'm not just gisting. Go and read this stuff, because thank God, Google is just, go and read books. They're all there, right? The second stage that a human being, your brain goes into, is to try and fight your way out. So you try and run. That's why your child will try and run. Stop, they're running, and you now hold them down, double down on your physicality. Look at your size. A whole 6'2" of you holding down a small child. Okay, so the child now goes, the brain of the child goes to the second level where they try and run. You catch them, you hold them down. The third stage is helplessness, when you give in, defeat. You notice the countenance of the child where they give up. They stop struggling. And you start to see a lot of people, unfortunately, were brought up. I've given the example of beating, and other people is in their speaking. They cried, I need this, I need this. The parents don't listen. Then they try and get their way, but then eventually they give up. They grow up to be adults who learn that their pleas for help yield no good response. Their needs are not met. Their screams, their efforts to run away are pointless. They have no control over their reality. That's why you hear people say, God will help us, so, because they don't believe there's anything in their power they can do to change their own circumstances. You become a victim of the environment. This is why how you raise your child is crucial. What message are you sending to the child? What are you teaching the child? Because everything you show the child affects the way their brain thinks. The child starts to think, I shouldn't try and save myself. When a boss is trying to intimidate me, I just cower and just do what they say, because I'm helpless. There's nothing I can do. When situations are not going, I don't take action. There's no point. They've learned it. If in your own home, the safe haven, the safest place, you can't speak up, you can't cry and play, and they forgive you, they still end up beating you, then where are you going to be confident to speak? Where? If you can't do it in your own home, where are you going to be confident to speak, guys? So this is why how you treat your children at home is crucial. Okay? If you find me, I will tell you the ways in which I need you to just understand what love is. If you don't know, just go and use 1 Corinthians 13 and just follow that. Don't take out your anger on your child because you cause them to be fearful, and in a fear, we don't thrive. The next thing you want to be doing is teaching them how to learn. And this is where you're teaching them the key traits of learning, which is perseverance. And I've told you the things that affect perseverance. The key traits of learning, which is, grit, determination, self-belief, confidence. If you are growing up in a home where you are constantly put down, teased and made fun of, when your opinion doesn't matter, you will lack confidence in yourself and in your ability to make decisions. I'm sorry, how do you thrive? You don't thrive. So guys, let's really think about this. This is the kind of thing I really try and stress to parents. And whenever my time is up, because I'm not really watching the time, you just let me know. But I hope I've been able to pass on the importance of how we love our children, because how we love them is how we understand what love is. And I want to remind you of something. How you treat your child is the way the world will treat them. How you treat them is the way the world will treat them. If you think you can lose your temper with your child and treat them harshly and expect that they'll go into the world, and when people hit them or get cross with them, you think the child is going to say, no, don't do that. It's a lie. They will let them beat them because that's what you've taught them. They will let people walk all over them. Listen, there's some of us that have overcome this thing and are now sitting and standing strong. So let me tell you something. The way in which you were raised is not your destiny. It's a predictor of your adulthood. But there are active things that can be done that would change that. But it's only with intentionality. I'm not here to talk about those things. And the other speakers have talked about how you can thrive. But I'm here to just help you understand how you raise your children. And also to help you understand the things in your life, how you were parented by parents who meant the best. They did not mean to harm you or harm us. But the unfortunate thing is that when we don't know, we don't do as well. This is why I want us to educate ourselves and make the best decisions that will make the best outcome for our children, because how we raise them is how the world will treat them. I let my children speak, because how I let them is then they will feel confident to speak. There are people sitting here that don't speak in public. When people are talking, they're quiet because they don't believe that anything they have to say will be listened to or be heard, because that's what they've learned from their upbringing. So I've helped you out here, and I hope I have. I'll take questions now because I can go on and on about this, but let me take some questions if you have anything to say.
Whoa. Personally, I'm learning. Personally, I'm learning. I won't say I've learned, I'm learning. And that's the mistake people make. They only do it once and they say they are done. Now, this is it. Everything she has just taught us now, which a child ought to learn. Now, this is it. You tend to okay, I've learned it once, I'm good. But don't forget, this is a continuous process. The only thing that makes it better off for those that are learning is this. They tend to know it more. It's just as if you are building a block on another block on another block. The challenges will happen, life will happen. Sometimes the parents will possibly even make a mistake, okay, this is what their values are, but they tend to once in a while just react. So it's not as if you've learned it and that is it. No, it has to be a continuous process. And let me kind of reverse back maybe about 20 minutes ago. She was talking about something which is very, very vital. We need to break that cycle. Now, I'll come from the aspect of relationship, then I'll move into the parenting and family, which you ought to understand. Now, Either ways, either from any gender right now, a good boy or a good lady meets. Pardon, okay, let me start. Okay, let me give the glory to the ladies. A good lady meets a bad guy. They start a relationship, and the bad guy breaks her heart, and she kind of say, "Oh, my heart is broken. After me protecting myself, I don't want to give myself. And okay, any other guy I meet, I'm going to break his heart." He goes on the way, meets a good guy, breaks the good guy's heart, and the loops keep on going like that. Now, let me come back to parenting and the child and the like of it. A parent, okay, let me even start from a child. A child did not learn the right thing, grew up to become a teenager, learn some other things from other teenagers and his environment, grew up to become an adult. Now, this is somebody that is already broken, raised up his own child or children, did not give them the right value. It continues like that. It continues like that. So what she's trying to make you understand right now is that it's not just about, I want to learn affirmations, I want to read all the books. Can you pick yourself out and say, okay, today I want to know better, to intentionally grow, so that when I'm building my own children, I can teach them this value. Maybe I still have like 50% of this bad attitude in me, but can I teach the 100% of the good ones to my children, so that when they are grown, they are 100%? Now, by the time you push yourself, okay, possibly you're able to give them 50%. By the time they are growing up, they'll be able to give what? 100% to their own children. And maybe in the next 4 generations, we have children that think right, that believes in themselves, that understand purpose. Now, I wrote something down as well. See, okay, let me even say the first way she said it so that you can really, we can connect better. I wrote it, I said what? Your level of success and thriving is determined by your capacity to love. All right, it is paramount. And I said what? Learn it. See, if we can't teach them from that aspect, everybody will continue to live in fear. And if you live in fear, you live in doubt. And when you live in doubt, you don't even totally believe in what you are going for. That is why you see some people like, can you do it? I don't know, by God's grace. The prior speaker today already said, we have the grace, we have the power. Now, the children of Israel, I don't want to be too biblical, but the children of Israel had to travel for 40 years on where they could have traveled for 40 days. Now, what happened in the wilderness? Understand this, and I will say that God is the best of parents. All right, they have been cajoled to believe that they can't do it, and the people that were coming from slavery, all right, they have to die in the wilderness so that another generation can do what? Can grow. And those generations that have believed, that have seen, that have experienced the freedom. They now have a right mindset. They don't have fear. All right, they now have a good leader that can lead them into the promised land. Now, I love the way she kind of built a word of like, okay, imagine you are being put as a child into another world and you have a new host. It's as simple as that. Now, either a mental host or whatever it is, put yourself in the right environment and find a way to build your belief system. All right. Intentionally say that I'm going to be a good child, I'm going to be a good brother, I'm going to be a good sister, I'm going to be a good friend, I'm going to be a good father, a good husband, a good grandfather. Because this is the chain, this is the loop. And if we don't break that cycle of say, this is the way it has been and this is the way it's going to be, everybody will keep on being in that cycle and in that loop. So I want to say thank you very much. And before I ask some questions, I want you, if you have a question right there waiting, please, I did your question to come in right now. All right.
There's
I want us to give.
Yeah, there's a question.
Okay, awesome. Okay, you can see the question, right?
I can see the question. And can I just start by saying that this is the question I get every single time. And it's a pleasure and an honor to help you understand that it's being misunderstood. So it says, but even the Bible recommends the use of the rod. I'll agree if you say it shouldn't be abused. Now, the Bible does not ask you to beat your children.
Awesome.
Fact. And this is something that people have somehow believed and has been passed down, that the Bible says use the rod to beat your child. No. Now, we have to be very careful, all sorts of interpretations. Okay. And now I'm going to stress this very, 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 very importantly. Please listen to this. The best thing for me, there are different interpretations, there are different preachers, there are different pastors, but the truth of the matter is that your relationship is with God. If you're a Christian, relationship with God, okay? And please hear this. The best way to interpret the Bible is by using the Bible. And I've heard this so many times, some really good pastors have said, use the Bible to interpret the Bible. When the Bible talks about the rod, it always uses the rod as what the shepherd holds to guide the sheep. In fact, it's the rod of authority. The rod has never been used. You've never seen the rod anywhere used to beat anybody. Okay, so it's talking about authority, to guide, to show, to teach. You're supposed to disciple your children. I also say to people that, look, Jesus came to show us everything, the Father's heart. He never mentioned one beating the children, and he never once modeled it. Why are we getting this interpretation, apart from the fact that we're just using it to feed what we are doing, our reactions? Don't use, please, I beg you, when you're doing something like beating your child, do not bring God into it to justify it. He's not happy that you're doing it. Let me just tell you now. There was no way. And another very important part, there are two passages I'm going to mention. Now think about in Genesis where it talks about have dominion over everything. No human. There is no human. I don't care if it's your child or your co-worker. You're not to have dominion over anyone. Beating anybody into submission was never God's design. When you talk about flogging, it was when Egyptians were flogging the Israelites who were slaves. When you see flogging, when they flogged Paul or flogged Jesus, in order to cause them, submission. It wasn't an act of love. Please. Then I always use this verse to help people understand. Use the Bible to interpret the Bible. You talk about Aaron, Moses' brother, having a rod of authority. You also see David in the Psalms where he talks about, the Lord is my shepherd. We all know Psalm 23. And when he says, even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no evil. Why? For thou art with me, your rod and staff comfort me. If it's your own rod, your child will be running. David said it clearly. In the valley of the shadow of death, I fear none, no evil, because God is with me, his rod and staff comfort me. I and my husband, we're the authority now. In my classroom, I'm the authority. If there's chaos in the classroom, when the authority comes in, there should be calm. They should think, thank God she's back. Not running, begging, please, the rod. So please, guys, please, use the Bible to interpret the Bible. If you don't believe me, please, in your prayer tonight, ask the Holy Spirit. Some of you are sitting here as Christians and saying that you hear from God. If anybody in this crowd, I ask this all the time, nobody yet has put their hand up, you might be the first. If anybody in this crowd, in their prayer, when they're saying, God, I don't know what to do with these children, I'm just tired, the Holy Spirit whispered, and thou shalt beat them, flog them well. If he has ever told you, please type it now. I beg you, go and speak to God. Go and ask him. Don't let anybody misinterpret the Bible for you. Let the Bible interpret. Ask the Holy Spirit. He's never asked you. He's asked you to give money that you didn't have, Seth, that you thought you didn't have. He asked you to give. He's asked you to put on this conference, Aya. I know the effort you've put in. He has never asked you to beat your child. Let's never bring God into that anymore. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. Man, there's a lot to learn. There's a lot to know. And some of you right now, possibly, I knew the age grade of people that register for this conference. Most of them are youth, they're not yet married, but let me let you understand something. It is not when you get married that you learn. Okay, sorry, some of you are not yet parents. Let me use that word. It is not when you have a child that you learn about parenting. That is the mistake most people do. They say, okay, I'm going to learn about it. I'm going to cross, I will learn how to cross the river when I get to the river. No. Why not learn multiple ways that you can before you get there so that you know the best that works? And right here, which Ebere is teaching us is paramount. It's very important. Like, why not learn how to be, okay, how can you be the best friend to your child? How can you be a mentor to your child? How can you be a coach to your child? How can you be a father to your child? All right? God forbid, definitely you must have seen Fatherhood by Kevin Hart. How can you be a mother to your child? God forbid. I don't want to say the other side, but how can you be a mother? Okay, what if your wife is even busy? how can you be like, think futuristic, be proactive. And when you learn those things, one thing about knowledge, let me break it down into three things. KNOW is know. We have L and we have edge. What gives you edge above every other thing, above every circumstances, obstacles, is the knowledge, is the know-how, and that is done by learning. If you want to have edge over things, you have to know, and the only way you can know is by that hell, is by learning. So please, this information has been given to you. Let me tell you the truth. And she brought something, pardon me, she brought someone that is paramount in our life, and that is the Holy Spirit. All right. We can give you this information. And that was the first thing I said when we started this year edition. I said what? Many people have gone for conferences, many people have done a lot of coaching, teaching, and there's no result. That is because, one, you don't know your why, and two, you don't think deep. There was a question that was asked that what is the problem of youth nowadays? Because they don't think. So please, watch this video again, possibly when you purchase it, or maybe you want to watch it again for the next 24 hours. Internalize the information, write something down, then ask the Holy Spirit to direct you right. See, the best person that can make use of a product is the manufacturer, or that can teach another person how to use a product is the manufacturer, and that is God. The best way to know about yourself, a teacher can guide you, a teacher can show you this, but see, a teacher can teach you 1 + 1, and you use that knowledge to understand 1 × 1 million. All right? I'm just trying to make you understand. I don't want to go too deep. She can teach you apple, but you can understand juice from apple. Understand possibly apple pie or whatever it is. All right? So the wisdom coming from the Holy Spirit help you to understand better and how you can really fancy things. So let me see if you have more questions. I can't see any question. Interesting perception about the road and this. So thank you very much for breaking that idea up about, breaking it down further. Sincerely, I'm just in it from that perspective as well. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And bringing Psalm 23 into the context is very, very important. It's true. If the rod was meant to flog you, then how will it comfort you in the wilderness? All right, in the dark, like it should be. Now the rod is more like a light that shines light into your path, that shows you, that give you. So please, let's read things. And let me say this again. She said, explain Bible using the Bible, not your cultural upbringing, not social standard. Use Bible to explain Bible. All right. And the only way to do that is still from the person of the Holy Spirit. So thank you very much, Eberebolu. There is so much to still learn. I know that definitely this is like a 5-hour or maybe 3-day section or a week program.
So guys, at least.
A month at least. Now, okay, let me relate to that a little bit. You are trying to teach a child that will live his life about 100 years. So this is not a rush. All right, 1 month. All right,
exactly.
It's not even too much. All right, you are trying to teach a child to live a good life for, and you don't know what the life of the child must have been till the time he's trying to learn. So something he has learned for over 6-7 years, you're not trying to teach him something else in 1 month. So it's not too much. All right. So we need to do more. So thank you very much, Ebere. Thank you for coming in to share this great value with us. Man, definitely I'm wiser. I don't know about you. Okay, now before she goes off, I want you to like say something. Possibly you want to thank her, you want to say something, just drop it in. Definitely she's monitoring. Okay, thank you very much for monitoring. She's also seeing your comments, so you're not just saying it to me, she's seeing it and she'll be able to like communicate. I have to like copy something that somebody said, but I noticed that you're not monitoring. When somebody said, if you lack self-belief, you will lack
self-worth. Yes.
So that's powerful. That's powerful. Guys, tweet it and possibly tag Eberebolu. Now, say some things about Eberebolu in the comment section, but I want you to follow her on Instagram. If you know you've learned something, if you love to learn more, if you want to connect, this is the right time to do it. So go on Instagram right now and follow ebere.bolu, Eberebolu. All right, let me say that, EBIERE.BOLU at ebere.bolu. All right, and learn more. See, invest in yourself. The proud speaker says something. okay, let me read it out, all right? I've filled my brain with some things, but he said something. See, you must see yourself as a profitable venture before you can become a profitable person. Invest in yourself. If you want to know how to parent, if you want to even become a better person, invest in yourself. Learn. Learn is a word of Grant Cardone. Say learn, then remove the L. What remains? Earn. So when you learn better, you earn better. And when you know better, you do better. So thank you very much. Do we have any question for the queen in the house? Okay, how do we connect on social
I've
media?
just
I just said
put
it
the
right.
link.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much. The link is coming to you right now. But let me just type in this ebere.bolu. All right, so you can just search for that right away on Instagram and connect with her. Ask a question, possibly have a one-on-one section with her. Book a section. Is important. Is important. All right, it's not too much. And but okay, apart from maybe section, do you have maybe a book or two that you can recommend?
Now I think it's easier to read. It's easier to talk to people about what they're interested in, because I read a lot about the brain and how the brain works, and some people might sit down there and read that. I'm a teacher, so I read a lot about how to interact with children in the classroom. So there are loads, but I'll recommend The Whole Brain Child. That's a good one to start with. But there's so many others. I think it's easier to
the best thing, connect with
just connect. Yeah,
connect. All right, go follow on Instagram, learn from her. See, let me tell you this: when I started off, I wasn't this massive in knowledge. What did I do? Most of the people I wanted connecting with, they are not close to me. What did I do? I read their books. I follow them on Instagram, on YouTube, their content. I see audio books. That is the best way. But now this is Ebere Bolu. Okay, definitely she's in the United Kingdom, but social media or internet made it very easy to connect. Okay, just introduce yourself in the right way. Tell her what you want to do, because our time is precious as well, and definitely book a section. So thank you very much, Ebere, for giving us your time. This is really a blessing, actually. Having to you have been waiting for us even from the first section, and that is more than 2 hours of your time. Thank you very much. And in the course of this section, one of the speakers coming up tomorrow as well joined in on YouTube. Thank you very much, Segun Manuel, for joining in. We look forward to having you tomorrow, making us understand business as it is, organization. Because see, the lineup of iThrive 2021 is not a mistake. I wanted us to understand everything about the 7 key areas of life. That is the book I'm writing on. And I wanted us to understand that aspect, that you can't leave one to just say you are building one. By the time you imagine, you can't stand very well on one leg. It won't work. Imagine you're trying to fly and you don't have the front tire helping you to also propel. It's not going to work. So you must make sure that your wheels of life, all right, are good. Or sorry, the wheel of life are having the right spokes so that you can gain the best of balance. The more your spokes, the better your balance. So you must understand that the 7 maximum and priming it up as the 8 key areas of life are very, very important. So parenting, family, relationship, all this matter. Let me tell you the truth. What you just said right now relates to the way you relate with your finance, how you relate with your relationship, how you relate with money, how you relate with your parents, and how you relate with your children, how you relate with your peers. Because if you don't know how to do it from child, you will not be able to do it when you are grown up. So please, this is not just about me, I'm a father. No, it's about you as a single person, as a teenager, as an adult, as a friend. So it's cut across. So please learn it, invest in yourself. So thank you very much, Ebere Bolu.
Thank you for having me.
Before you leave, I want to make it a culture that what is one thing that if you have to leave every participant and viewer with, what would that be?
Go, and I would say to everyone, which is something I'm doing as well, which is very important for your journey, is learn how to love. Because how you love right now is based on how your parents loved you. And if they loved you in ways that were quite confusing, you got house treatment or you were ignored, but they said they loved you, then you don't understand what love is. And if you don't really understand what love is, if you look at love as some, whatever negative view we have of love, it would affect the quality of your life and your capacity to succeed. So I am spending a lot of time understanding what love is. And I believe that the best way to find out what love is by going to love himself. God is love. He says so in 1 John. He is love. And if you understand how he loves us, John 3:16 talks about that as well. And you understand how he loves us, what love really is from 1 Corinthians 13, and just understand love, what unconditional love really is. You're not going to get it perfectly because you're not perfect, but you need to try and live and love people and yourself by that standard, and you will see your purpose will come to life. You will see that the quality of your life will improve, and that's when you really thrive. And when you know how to love, then you will also know how to love your children, and then they will learn to love others. And trust me, if you treat and if you live your life in and with love, other people, the way people will respond to you will be different as well. You'll be attracting the best to yourself. Love really conquers all. And it's not something that is just written and we just say love conquers all. No, actually, love never fails. Love conquers all. So that's what I'll be pushing as my final thing to say.
Whoa, love conquers all. And if you truly want to learn about love, go to love himself, which is God. Thank you very much, Eberibolu. We look forward to connecting with you. We look forward to learning from you more, and God bless you.
God bless you too. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Bye. All right, guys, and that is it from Eberibolu all the way from United Kingdom, the parenting expert. Don't forget what I said. It's not just about you crossing to that before you learn, or you becoming a father or a mother. It's about you learning to become the right friend, the right brother, the right colleague, the right person right now, so that you can give that value to your children when you get there. So please start learning, start building. And by tomorrow, we're going to be wrapping up on the third day of the second edition of iThrive Conference, iThrive 2021, with our awesome Segun Manuel and Nish Soyinka. So guys, do you have a friend out there that needs to learn how to make more money? Do you have a colleague that is working in an organization that needs to understand how to do well so that they get promoted, or how to build a business, on how to relate with 21st century businesses and tools? Tomorrow is a section you don't want to miss. Tomorrow is a section you want to like pick everything and digest. All right. This is because these speakers are not just anyhow speakers. I've followed them for the past few years. All right. And I know that they have value in them that you need to tap from. So thank you very much for joining in on today's edition. All right, thank you so much, Coach Ayobami, for putting this together. God bless our speaker. God bless you too for being part of this. So do this tomorrow. Invite a friend. Now, if you've not subscribed, subscribe, and as well possibly click the notification setting, turn it on, so that when we go live, you can be part of it, and share the invite link. All right, let them join the Telegram group so that they can be part of it. Let me see if I can actually get that out here right now and post it. All right, pardon. So if you are not on our Telegram group, I want you to just join right away so that you can get the best out of it. Let me see if I can get that out, but if I'm not able to do that. All right, so that is it. I'm posting that right away. So just join in so that you can get instant notification of when we go live, and if there are other freebies that are coming in, so that you can benefit from it. You can give other people so that they can join in and they can be part of this. So thank you for joining all the way from Cyprus, UK, US, Nigeria, definitely from Kaduna, Adamawa State, and the likes of Lagos, Ogun State as well. And see you tomorrow, same time, starting 6 p.m. GMT +1 Nigerian time. And my desire is that you build the right mindset for productivity in all spheres of life, that you can make, magnify, and master your habits to become productive in all spheres of life. All right. So let me just say this. If you are not following me on Instagram, I'm just going to drop it right there. It's the Am Academy. All right. Just go to Instagram and go to the Am Academy. All right. The Am Academy. So thank you very much. Join in on Instagram, follow us, and definitely you have the link to my podcast right there. Over 100 episodes. You can take in the best that you can, and we're going to start some new edition after this conference so that you can get the best of information and you can build the right mindset. Thank you very much, and see you tomorrow. Enjoy these instrumentals, as we go on wrapping this up, and see you tomorrow. Don't miss it for anything. All right. If you miss it, all right, I'm not going to say anything, but see you tomorrow, and don't miss it for anything. Bye for now.